Friday, everybody. Excuse me. It is Kerbal Day. Gotta turn my headphones down because they're really loud for me. Happy Kerbal Day. Hope everybody's doing hunky dory. We're back here at Kerbal. We're back here at Kerbal. We're back here. Sorry about starting the stream so late. I had to rush and get some dog food at the last minute just as I was getting ready to start the stream at 8 o'clock. So I went and did that, got back as quick as I could, and here we are. So, let's get started. When we last left our heroes, we were cranking out a lot of science. But that delightful science station we had, eh, it's not quite the best. So we're going to grind out a little more science, and then maybe, just maybe, we start building a good communication network so that we can communicate well with our probes on the inner and outer side of the solar system. And maybe even look at doing a trip to Duna. So, yeah. Let's do a little more grindy science real quick. Um, because never know how things are gonna go, right? That should be probably enough there. I thought this listed how much science it had on it. It does not. But how would it know? How would it know how much science is on it? Yeah, we can go a little more. It just needs to grind it out just slightly. Doing about 2 science a day. Alright, let's transmit that stuff. Roop. Transmitting our science. Transmitting our science. So I think how we're going to build it, we're going to have a central core that'll have all of our primary nodes, right? And then we'll have these uh, space labs, these science labs, processing labs. That's the word for it. We'll have the processing labs be the core, and then we'll have the 2 outer ends that we can expand out on, and then we'll have solar panel cells and everything. We'll make it look like a somewhat like a space station, right? We're getting 100. Blocked by, so it's blocked by this panel. And that one's got exposure, but this one is blocked. So we need to rotate. That's just telling me it's 9 o'clock. Because if we rotate it this way, then they won't be exposed by or blocked by the other panels. They still have full exposure, right? Yep. Alright, we're going to call that full exposure there. Hey, why are you swinging back on me here? Always seems to do that for some reason. Don't know why. Alright. We got all the science we did. Okay. So let's go back to the tracking station. Or can we just go here? Yeah, because you know we're rotating in space as well as the planet, so things are getting a little dicey. Things are getting a little icy dicey. Alright, we're gonna transmit this stuff. Plenty of power. Plenty of power. I think we still have that generator running too, don't we? How much fuel has he burned up? I don't think it's burned up that much fuel, but well, maybe it has, because these tanks had fuel in them. It's been burning a little bit of fuel. At the 87%, this should give us 1,000 um, points to play with. Which I hope gives us those big docking ports, because if it does, then we can start thinking about big science labs. Okay. We need to look at. See, that gives us our multi-point hub connector and the large clampetron. That's what we want right there. And that's 550. So we need to go composites, which we wanted anyway, because that gives us our inline structures, rocket, micro goo containment, which is good. Because I think we can run that multiple times, right? Storing 2 independent samples simultaneously, yeah. So then we can get rid of the mystery goo. And go with this. Boom. We got 200 left. That was perfect. Wonder if we should spend some money on some aerodynamical stuff. I don't know if we'll be building a space plane anytime soon, but we still have a lot of science around Kerbal to collect. Orbital assembly. Yeah, that's our next big thing right there is the orbital assembly. Alright, so with that being said, we now have what we need to build a superstation. So let's start by going with this remote guidance system. And with that remote guidance system, we will slap... I thought we had a bigger remote guidance system. No, but we can always increase the size of this bad boy. Bloop. We can go slightly bigger. Maybe just a smidge smaller. No, that should be okay. That should be okay. Before we smack this guy on here. See, that's not going to be nearly large enough. But these guys will. Those are 400 apiece. We'll put you guys here. We'll put you guys here. put you guys here. What?
Good night.
Night. Put this here. Put you guys here. And we'll put you guys here. So that's 8 times. $32 times 2. No, wait. Hold on. Trying to do the math here. So we've got 8 there at 400, so that's 32. We got another 8 for 400, so that's another 32. So we've got 3 times 32, which is 9,600 there and 9,600 here. Yeah, that's a lot of power. We've got power to burn. There we go. That's 1.76 tons already. That's 5 tons. We're gonna take another one of these. We want coupling, senior, and let's rotate this around so that the arrow lines up with the door. Yeah, see, now this arrow lines up. This arrow lines up. Alright. So now, as this is going to be the top half of the rockets, we're going to come in here and we are going to auto strut. Okay. Now, at this stage of the game, I think we could just put this thing up and just let it hang out there. And then we can develop the power system for it and develop the fuel tank system and everything as we go along. We're eventually going to have to bring up like solar cells and everything else. But the more we can keep them compact, the better. The better off we're going to be, right? What orbit do we want these things? I think we want these things in a pretty high orbit. Because if we get them in a high enough orbit, that means that we have the opportunity to have more sunlight exposure. Do you think that a single twin bore that's 3,851 meters a second. Go with the orange tank. And let's go with some radial decouplers. We only want 2 this time. I'll put them right about there. And then we want to grab another one of these tanks here. Put that there. And those are too big. That's just a... Oh, it does have a tank. Okay. We'll put those guys there. We'll put these guys here. And we're gonna need some aerodynamical nose conage. Now you're probably asking yourself, what are these big ugly tanks for? Well, I'll tell you. They're for nothing. They are just here to provide ballast. No, actually they're gonna feed us some fuel. We're gonna see just how awesome these twin bores are. And this whole device is going to be remote controlled. Okay. Now you're probably wondering, well, why is it remote controlled? Well, I'll tell you why it's remote controlled. Because we don't want people going up in this yet. It's a death trap. If we bring people up in this thing, they're going to die. Okay. Because we don't have life support going. It's not a super major unit here. It's just, you know, really? She came down here to pester me, didn't she? I don't know if you guys can hear the bulldog over there squeaking her brains out, but she's happy about something. I've put a couple of Reliance on there if that'll give us some extra thrust. That's a 1.4. What do we have that's a little more oomph-ish than the Reliant? I guess we could do away with those tanks and put a couple of skippers on there. That gives us 1.92. That's a little better. We're above the 1.5. I remember this is just to get us up there. We're not gonna do anything super fancy. Question is, do we really need? Yeah, I mean that gives us 1 point. Okay, we'll call that good. Those tanks should pan away real smooth. Okay. Wondering if we should even allow these to gimbal. We'll lock them. We'll let these things here gimbal. Wondering if I should put these more down here. Looks a little better that way, doesn't it? Yeah, it looks better that way. I think we'll leave them there. Alright, let's give us a tower control here. We're gonna call this Space Rab. Space Rab? We're gonna call it Space Lab A2. And I'm actually gonna come in here to my sub-assemblies because I kind of like this assembly here. We're gonna take you, drop you down here in the sub-assemblies, and we're gonna call this guy Frank. Medium lifter. He's for medium payloads. Okay. This thing has no RCS on it. Woohoo! No power. Slave it. Alright. We're just gonna launch this thing and see what happens. Ascent guidance. Let's put this thing up around 300 kilometers. 0 orbital inclination. Let's put its angle of attack at about 15 degrees. Ooh, pretty. That's what I figured it would do. Alright, we need some control surfaces. I always seem to do that. Okay, so we need to move you guys to here. And we want to turn the yaw off on that, leave the roll. Maybe we want to even increase the size of these things a bit. That should keep her flying straight. Center of mass is right there. Nice. Yeah, that should definitely keep her from going all wonky. I think that's one reason why I wanted those boosters higher up, because it would help balance the thing out. But you know, to each their own. It's a maybe it would have worked better too if I had enabled the gimbals on those, but. Yeah, I think it's still gonna tumble. It's holding at about 15 degrees there. Why is it coming back over? What's it doing? What the heck did it? What's it? It's all gone terribly wrong. We're gonna turn these gimbals on. Okay, we're gonna give this a try. Don't know why she's not flying straight. Let's change my angle of attack to 5 again. $15 may just be too steep for it. Maybe we should turn this. Let's leave it and see how she flies. Because we got gimbaling on these things now too, so that should help. Still pitching over. Hey! Yeah, sorry, I had to go and run and grab dog food at the last moment, so I started the stream late, but yeah, we're here now. At least it seems to be going in the right direction this time. Yay! They collided! Spectacular explosion! Lots of debris raining down on the Space Center. Oh no! Why? What's going on? You were trying to use the Clonezilla, huh? It messed up the bootloader, didn't it? Am I gonna have enough fuel to circularize this thing? Oh, barely. I think I'm barely gonna have enough to circularize. Oh, that's right. You're running LVM. Hmm. Yeah, like I said, I've never used Clonezilla with LVM, so I really don't know how it behaves with LVM. Um, I love watching those things just kick off and fly away. You got auto warp. This thing's trying to rotate its monstrosity around here. Well, I really don't. You're using FreeBSD, right? Harrow. Didn't you just take him outside? Well, Nora, we asked. That's why she peed in your room because we told you to take her outside. Not now. She's already peed in your bedroom. Oh, so you had Windows and Linux on it, or you just had two different Linuxes? Because I really don't think you even need EFI with FreeBSD. You could just go legacy if you wanted. Um, I mean, it doesn't affect performance at all with FreeBSD. And one for Linux. Okay. What Linux are you running? Are you running what flavor? Is it Arch? Is it RPM? Is it apt. Yeah, I know Linux uses grub. Oh, that's right. You're using Debian. That's right. I remember now. I talk to so many different people using different versions of Linux. I forget who uses what. Um, so with the Debian, if you use the Debian USB stick, you should be able to go in and repair grub, and that should get at least get the grub bootloader working. I don't know because I don't know enough about FreeBSD to uh, help on that much. But I know I think FreeBSD might have a bootloader repair as well. Most of those do. All right, we are in a nice orbit. So we are going to speed up to lock this thing into place. And then we are going to put you in hibernation. And there is the start of our space station right there. Just hanging out, doing its thing. Well, and that's always the hope, right? If you return it back to how it originally was, does everything come up or does nothing come up? Because you may just need to simply fix the bootloaders and you're good to go. I just love. I mean, it really does. It just hangs there, right? This is the thing that fascinates me about space is when you get stuff out there without anything around it, you just see how it hangs. It's just there, right? No up, no down, no surface resting on anything. It's just existing. Yeah, that's what I was getting at. Is you may have to go through and repair the bootloaders for both FreeBSD and Grub. Um, does the Grub give a kernel panic at all, or does it just? Let's go check in on our science station. I don't think much has happened since we last left our hero. Well, I know FreeBSD doesn't use Grub, but I'm saying that Debian should have a Grub repair that you can run to at least get Grub up and going. And FreeBSD probably has the same thing for its bootloader. I guess you called it. Do you need to restamp it or whatever? Like I said, I don't know enough about FreeBSD to be able to troubleshoot that very well. I can help you a lot with Debian, but FreeBSD, I'm not familiar enough with it to. Yeah, we're barely any science on that thing. Right. No, I understand the idea behind EFI to switch between them. Um, hi, Nora. Okay. So now that we got that core up there, I think what we need to build is a shuttle. Not a shuttle in the sense of like the space shuttle, but I guess I should call it a pusher. Something that's going to be able to maneuver large objects around in space and connect them up to our space station. So, we're going to start with one of these. Because why not? Next, we are going to put a fandy dandy, fancy sancy senior on it. Because why not? Now, we're also going to put some RCS tanks. Because we're going to have to need to maneuver these things around here. And then we're going to want to put some hefty fuel on there. And maybe one of these guys. That gives us a 1.47. I wonder if we should couple it with a couple of tut-tuts. Yeah, we'll couple it with a couple of tut-tuts. And then we'll come in here. We will go custom one. These groups, and we will toggle engines, because in that way I can hit one to kick those things on and off all at the same time. Okay. For the record, let's see if this is actually going to work. In fact, let's actually revert flight to vehicle assembly. Let's put it on a... We're going to put it on a launch platform here. We're going to test our engines. See if our engine staging works correctly here. Okay. Let's not go full hog. Let's just go. Let's go about a third throttle here. That works. Look at that. That bumps that thing up to 7.6 on the thrust to weight ratio. Just kicking those engines on. Boy, those things use a lot of fuel. Maybe I should only go with 2 of those things. That is not. Why does it seem like that engine was just not burning very strong? Like it just continued to burn at. Yeah, yeah, I've been reading a lot of that too. That thing is just not. It's weak sauce, isn't it? I thought the Terrier was a better engine than that. Alright, let's rethink this. I really thought the Terrier had a little more oomph than that. It says it's 60 kilonewtons. Thing's almost behaving like it's a 2 kilonewton. Alright, what do we have that's a little better? My microphone's quiet? There, let's see if that's better. Okay. Saying my microphone's too quiet. I'll see how this goes. That's a whole lot of thrust. I don't think I need anything that powerful for this. This is just an orbital engine. You know, it doesn't have to be too crazy. I guess I could go with a cluster of ants. Alright, let's pull these guys off. I guess I could always reduce the size of the There's no kill like overkill. Exactly. It just wants me to do one of those, huh? How much push does that have if I increase the size of it? Oh, that actually becomes quite the engine. Let's put some thuds on it. Let's drop them down by half. Okay, we should still have those guys here in the custom, right? Yes, okay. Let's test these out and see how they run. Alright, let's set it about a third throttle again. See, that is a vacuum engine too. That might have been why. Yeah, I think I like this a little better. Yeah, I think that might have been why the Terrier was so weak too, because I think the Terrier is a vacuum-only engine. Let's look at that. Yeah, that's a vacuum engine. That's why it's so weak. The flame would burn better, and I think the same with the Spark. Spark is a vacuum engine as well. Okay. I like this platform. We're gonna go with this platform. Part of it. I'm also just trying to get a good balance, because this here's just to push things in orbit to get them connected to the new space station that I'm building. Okay, so this is just a pusher that I'm toying with. So now we can come in. I think we've got a good pusher. So now we can come in with this guy. And we go... Whoop. I think we can go a little more. Yeah, that covers the docking port really well. Now the question is... No, you know what? This would be a good... I like this. Okay. It does, right? Well, the idea... is to give docking positions so I can come and attach things to it, right? There. Alright, where's my center of mass? Right there. Which is going to suck because my RCS... Gotta make sure these are the stronger ones. That's 6 of them. That's more than 6. That's 8. I might need it for rotating this thing. It's really not that heavy. It's only 14 tons. Yeah, the idea of this is to be able to have different nodes to build off of the space station. We'll probably not use all of these, but it's going to make it to where we can extend different parts. So with that being said, let's go ahead and toss you guys out of here. We're gonna climb up to the ceiling. And gotta get a coupler. Probably this one right here. And then let's come into our sub-assemblies. Frank. Doom. Alright, I think we gotta make this a little more aerodynamical. So if we come in here and we put nose cones all the way around it, You'd be amazed what this thing actually does for aerodynamics. Just doing this solves a lot of aerodynamic issues. I know it's weird, but it's the physics of the game. Now, if we come in, and we go custom group action. Oh, we got the thuds there. Okay, custom group action here. We want this one. Where's undock? Undock node. We want this one. Undock node. We want this one. Undock node. We want this one. Undock node. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we're missing this one. An undock node. Okay. That's going to be really cool when I press the number 2 button. Those are going to go ping! Now. Let's go ahead and give this thing, because we're not going to need a whole lot of power. Go ahead. Oh, we don't need that many fuel cells. Go ahead and just slap a fuel cell on the side of this thing. That should keep that thing alive when the engines aren't running. Alright, we're going to call this Node 1. And now we get to see how good our pusher is. Why do I build stupid things like this? Okay. We need to make a target. Say it as target. Yeah. Go away. I just need to turn that off. It never does anything for me. That's half the fun, exactly, right? Launch to rendezvous. Gauge autopilot. Uh-oh. Wait, stop! Abort! I just made the classic mistake. I didn't check my staging. Alright, we got engine. Okay. Disconnect. You need to come down here. You're here. You need to be down here. You need to be up here. There we go. Now it's all right. Whew. That could have been a disaster. Hope we're gonna have enough fuel for this. I think I should add another tank. Let's see how it does. If we can launch into the rendezvous as close as possible, the 403 meters a second should be enough to complete the rendezvous. So let's see how this thing flies Uh, Set as target. Launch to rendezvous. Engage autopilot. Set this up to 290. What? Whoa. I saw wibbly wobblies. Did I not auto strut things? Couldn't hoy it, yeah. Yeah, I listen to Click and Clack. I have their podcast subscribed, so I get to listen to their podcast all the time. It's just a repeat of all their old shows, right? Because they retired and they don't do it anymore. But yeah, it's one of the things I enjoy. I'll usually fire those up and listen to them on my way home from work. Yeah, I did hear he passed away in like 2016, 2017, something like that. So I was aware he had passed away. But, you know, I mean, he was like, what, 70 something? 74, 75? So, yeah, he had that too. I mean, you could kind of in the later episodes. That was one of the reasons why they retired, is when you get into some of those later episodes, you can kind of start hearing it, and he doesn't talk as much, and he becomes a lot more forgetful about things. It wouldn't surprise me. But we all got to go sometime, you know. Yeah. And nobody gets off this planet alive. Pling! There they go. That's such a beautiful thing. I love watching that kind of stuff. Uh, my skybox looks amazing. Huh? Okay. It's just the stock look-alike parts, so it's... Where is this thing going here? Did I forget to put stinking reaction control wheels on this thing? I thought that probe body had a reaction control wheel on it. It does. It's just insufficient, I guess. So we got a burn coming up here that's gonna kind of need our attention here in a minute. Look at all those things flying away. Well, and that's the thing is I really couldn't. I mean, this thing here weighs a whole lot, and yeah. So the center of mass was actually up here with just this part. But I should have really put a reaction control wheel down here. But that's okay. We got tons of RCS, so. Is that thing like barely keeping up with the power load on this thing? Yeah, that fuel cell is just maintaining the charge. Okay, let's skip that. We're done. Okay, let's bring up our. This still has a lot of fuel in it. Rendezvous. So we should be in the orbital path of rendezvous here. I guess we just wait. So it looks like it's going to come around here and meet it. So there's our burn right there to create our intercept. Yeah, I think for the next one I'll put a reaction control wheel like right here. Give it a little more twist. It's got to do an inclination change, doesn't it? Just a wee bit. 3.3 meters a second inclination change. Because it's 0.09. Yeah, it's just a smidgen of an inclination change, nothing big. It's still enough, I mean, in relation to how they're going to dock. You need that little, I mean, 0.062 degrees in space is a huge gap between two objects the further apart you get. I mean, it may not look like much on the scale, but the further out you go, those things are going to deviate pretty far. There we go. Oh, maybe I should have put some... That's what I should have done. I should have put some veneer thrusters on here. That would have flipped it around better. It's still got tons of RCS though. I mean, even with 8 of those things, we've hardly even burned 20 monopropellants, so... I mean, it doesn't help that we got this big elephant on our back here, but I want to try and burn as much of that fuel as we can. Do we even have contact with our... A little bit. They're ahead of us. Maybe I should kick this off just so I can get more accurate burns. Why is this thing firing so early from the node? It's going to push us all out of whack. We may have to kick that engine off. As much as I want to salvage the fuel out of it, we can always run some garbage cleanup missions where we come and collect all this fuel. But I think just for the sake of maneuverability, we're going to have to kick it off. Because this thing's not even waiting for the node to swing around anymore. It's just... See, it's burning way early. What? Disengage. We're all out of whack now. You've ruined it. And we're all out of North Korean. Alright, restart. Yeah, our center of mass is way down here. So let's come in here. Let's do our maneuvers. And let's go with some veneer engines. Those should actually use oxidizer, which they do. That should give us a little more maneuverability. I wonder if I should add a second one of these. Oh, hey, we don't want that many. How much electric charge does that thing have on it? 15 electric charge, yeah. Max these things out. Auto strut everything, Because we had a lot of wibble wobble. We don't like wibble wobble. Okay. Let's give this another try. Set as target. Set guidance 290. Limit acceleration. Ron das Vos. Let's give it another try. Last time to fly. Before we give it another try. 3, 2, 1, light. Boom. That's a lot better. Not nearly as much wibble wobble. With your wibble wobble. Now maybe I should bump my acceleration limit to 25 meters a second instead of 22. Do they collide? Do they give another spectacular explosion? Aww. I wanted them to explode. Almost seems like I climbed better this time, didn't it? I guess we have about the same delta V as we did before. Twing! Thing's moving a lot better. And to think, we need to repeat this mission a second time. Why, do you ask? Because we need to put another one of these on the other side. What, you think I'm actually going to do 2 at a time? I'm lazier than that. You guys should know that. Oh, give it a rest. We're not going to need it. Okay. Look at that node shake back and forth. Alright, we're going to kick it. This is not a very good pusher. We should literally be in a catch-up orbit for it. Maybe I should have went to 310 so it could have caught up to us instead of us catching up to it. That's okay. Probably would have still been the same number of revolutions either way. Two days? Man, I didn't think we were that far off. It's going as fast as it can for our orbital state around Kerbin. Alright, we got 1 hour here. We should start to see it here. Catching up to it. There she is. Just give us a little bit of a boost flipping this thing around. $23 minutes. I don't know what this thing's doing. I don't know if it's stepping us up there or what, but it does this sometimes. Okay, we're starting to move closer to it. See, we're going to drift towards it here a bit. It is ahead of us. We need it to be behind us. Otherwise, we can never catch it. drift a little closer to it. Oh! That's not what was supposed to happen. That's only supposed to happen in the movies. I'd only notched that once, too. And you see how fast it went flying by? It's like a bullet. Dangerous. Surprised we didn't collide with it. That was really close. That was a really close intercept there. Yeah, we almost collided with it. I'm surprised we didn't hit it. Anytime now. Anytime. There we go. Awesome. Okay. We want to control from here. Go ahead and turn you off. We're going to turn you off. This is our target. And we want to docking autopilot. Giddy up. That thing's coming in pretty fast, isn't it? Let's go ahead and put this thing. Uh-oh. I think I just screwed up. I did. I have a dead space. No. I forgot to put a docking note on the other side of that. Ah. Okay. Well, I had it so well thought out too. Uh, I, it helps if I actually go to the right craft if I'm gonna do stuff here. That's so irritating. I thought I had everything planned out so well. Slow this thing down as much as possible here. Because we got to deorbit it. I can't believe I did that. Ah. I even remember saying to myself, I need to remember to put a second docking port on this. But I got so wrapped up in putting the whole thing together. Can't believe I freaking did that. Almost burned all my RCS off deorbiting this thing. Yeah, we're really deep into the atmosphere now, so it's coming down one way or another. All right, all out of RCS. And we're gonna hit atmosphere in 3 seconds. after these messages. We'll be right back. Let's go ahead and kick this guy on. Keep our electric charge up here. Should be coming in pretty steep. So, there we go. That's what I was looking for. Usually you don't get the heat effects till about 4,500 or 45 kilometers. That's going. Full burn! Slow ourselves down here. See if we can get this thing to soft land. Save our remaining fuel. We're still coming in pretty steep, but... Alright. See if we can get this thing to... slow down enough that when we burn those motors, we can get a nice soft cushion land into the ocean. And we're going to recover this thing and redo it. Question is, how early should we start burning these engines? Because we're at a 5.4 thrust to weight ratio right now. Picking up speed again. Oh, man! Did I run out of fuel or did it just impact too hard? I thought I had it. Only the docking ring survived. Alright, we'll recover it. I thought I had it. Must have impacted at above 20 meters a second or something. Alright. Let's try this again. This time, I'm gonna be a big dopey here. Can't believe I didn't see that and I didn't do it. Let's make sure that's facing the right direction too. Because that's the other problem I have, is I'll put it on backwards. Yeah, that's the right way. Okay. Shed some weight. Albeit not a whole lot, but it's just this whole assembly here. It's 10 tons. It's... Well, I mean, these are just probes, so I don't really worry about the probes being destroyed or not when I bring them in. So that's why they don't have parachutes. I usually only save parachutes for like my manned craft, but I still like to see if I can soft land things. So in the event that I don't have parachutes, I at least have some practice on soft landing things to save things. So that's my master plan here. It may not be a good one, but it's a good master plan. That's a. But yeah, I mean that thing was never intended to. It's these are disposable. We throw them away. You know, it's like plastic silverware. It just. Set as target. Okay. Let's make sure my staging is correct. Staging is correct. Staging is correct. Let's make sure my staging is correct. We're gonna put you at we got 250. Out of warp. Launch to around us of us. Engage my target. Why did everything suddenly settle there? Is it because we came out of time warp, wasn't it? Okay. Going through the max queue. Let's see if we can get these, if these boosters will separate and collide into one another and rain terror down on the space station. Oh, oh, no, they're flying away from each other. Those things are just hanging out there, aren't they? They still have upward momentum. They'll land somewhere here in the water. Twing! I love that. That is one of the coolest things you can do in this game. Is just make things fly off in all different directions for absolutely no other reason other than to just take up space. And these are suborbital too, so they'll eventually fall and burn up. But because if you look at their orbital trajectory, they'll come up here and then just burn up down over here. They won't even remain in orbit. Probably. I gotta kick on my generators. Because why not? Alright, let's kick the elephant off the back here. Oh no! I knew there was something I was forgetting. I drained all the fuel out of this thing. I was gonna transfer fuel into it. Revert flight. I'm such an idiot. I do this kind of stuff, and I just You know, if I paid more attention to what I was actually doing, yeah, I just. One more time. Yeah, this will probably be the last time, and then I'm gonna call it. It's. I've been streaming for 2 hours straight now, so I've done my 2 hour time, which is good. So we're pretty much wait until it's right above the top of us, and then we just kind of catch up to it. That makes sense. I mean, it's basic orbital mechanics, right? If I go here and I go docking camera, it just shows that. If I show this docking camera, oh look, we can see the sky. It's just on the docking nodes. This is how we build space stations. Flat earthers be like, it still ain't round. I don't know, it looks pretty round to me. I don't know what they're talking about. Okay, this time don't forget to transfer fuel into this tank, Dev. You big dummy. Ding! There they go. Now we gotta watch them fly away. I am transferring the fuel right now. See? Right here. Fuel transfer! Probably had to kick my batteries on too. Why is it doing so good electric charging now where before it wasn't? Gotta coast up to our altitude. Alright, that's enough of these. Good enough. Alright, do we have the fuel in here now? Yes, we do. Okay. Um... Auto whoop. It's what we do. It's kind of interesting watching it go around all those cameras. Alright, we're gonna turn these off. And we're gonna turn this off. We're gonna turn this off. We've got debris. See how powerful that spark turned out by enhancing it, making it a bigger spark. There she is. Ah, 113 kilonewtons. That's pretty good. Alright, you're just walking me to it for right now. Let this thing finish making its maneuver here. Because it's got a little bit of a rotation. We kind of want to be pointing towards it so we can slow ourselves down as we get near it. And since that's not for another, like, what, 20 minutes? It's a long way away, right? We'll want to stop it real close to this here. Yeah, well, this is my last mission, and then I'm calling it. We'll go to about 2 kilometers, and then we'll re-engage the autopilot. We want to stay. Drifting a little closer. We'll engage at about 200 meters a second here. Or at about 200 meters, not 200 meters a second. We'd be flying at 200 meters a second. Awesome. Control from here. It's coming in hot. What? There we go. They weren't kissing right. All right. Okay. Well, aside from this, we've got a fairly good start to our space station here, guys. I think we're about ready to bring power and bring up some nice power, communications, get this thing going, maybe build some superstructures out a little bit, add some additional nodes. My camera for the outside just lit up. I don't know why. There we go. Probably because it keeps detecting me moving, and it's like, we gotta find out. Yeah. So I think we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna spit this guy off. It's kind of not, but she likes likes watching me destroy Kerbals. It's more of the death and destruction that she enjoys more than the actual physics of the game. You know, if we push sideways on this thing. See, now she's playing The Sims. Feces are fun, yeah. Well, I was watching a video today. They were talking about the whole submarine and stuff, right? And he was talking about how it implodes and everything. And he says it imploded so quick that your body goes from being biology to physics, just because of how quick everything comes together. So I really enjoyed that reference. Yes. That is the you know, an object in motion tends to stay in motion until enacted upon by another force. You know, the other thing I love is when people sit there and say that nobody knows how gravity works. Well, we absolutely know how gravity works. The rotation of the electrons around every atom is what draws them towards each other, and that's essentially your gravity there. The larger the mass of the together, the more electrons there are, and the more it pulls things towards it. So I didn't. I heard that they had done a lot of stuff like that in the past. Um, they did so much on that show that, I mean, you miss like 2 episodes and you miss a lot of science, right? But I've seen a lot of tanks implode. In fact, where I grew up, my dad's house, they used to have one of those. Well, just down the street. It wasn't by my. It, it was within biking range. I would say probably about a block and a half from our house. But they had one of those big, huge water storage tanks. I mean, we're talking the big industrial size, 10,000, 20,000 gallon tank. I mean, the big ones. You see them all the time. And it was a steel tank. And uh, not exactly sure what year it happened, but the tank ended up getting a little pinhole in it, and the water started coming out. But it wasn't enough to, trip the system to shut off and not fill the tank up. Well, it keeps filling the tank up and filling the tank up, but the pressure inside, because the water level was dropping, just got to the point to where no air was coming in. The whole tank just caved in on itself and just sent all this water. It destroyed like 4 or 5 houses. I'll have to see if I can pull that article up and post it. Um, we got a long way to fall here. I'm going to do it real quick. Hold on. You guys can continue to watch Kerbal. Maybe I can. No, I can't. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, 1991. That's the one right there. Oh, don't tell me they don't have the pictures of it. The pictures are the best part. See if I can find one that's got the pictures. But I'll have to find it and post it later. But yeah, it was back in '91. Destroyed 2 homes. The guy that was closest to the water tank really sucked for him because he had all sorts of snakes and lizards and all this sort of stuff. I mean, he lost. I think he said he lost something like $20,000, $30,000 just in reptiles because they were in his basement and they all just drowned. But it completely obliterated the house. Well, 2 houses. I mean, yeah, and the city, uh, a whole legal battle over that. But you know, they eventually rebuilt the house and everything else. Probably like 4 or 5 years later, but they never did rebuild that tank. I think they actually just shut that particular tank down. I don't know where they diverted all the water to, but well, yeah, and see the that sub that imploded had no business being in the water. It hadn't gone through any safety checks each time that it came back up. It didn't go through any inspections, anything like that. Um, One guy I was listening to said that that sub had been through more pressurization and pressure than a 747 throughout its entire lifespan in the 6 missions that thing had gone down underwater. But I mean, it makes sense. I mean, you're going clear down, 1,200 kilometers down. I mean, that's a lot of water pressure. So, yeah, I'll have to let me come on, pull it up. I will watch it here in a minute. There we go. But yeah, those people were dead before the rescue operation even occurred. They were dead the second the uh, monitoring ship heard the bang. It didn't go well with them. Not, none of them had any idea what happened. They were dead before their brains even registered it. I mean, we're talking milliseconds. It was that quick. They're probably going down. Probably heard one small little creak, and then bam, that was it. We're gonna be over land. We may not be able to soft land. Not burning up yet. There we go. We get down to about. Oh, we might hit a body of water. No, we're heading straight for land. Maybe I could keep one of these running. Just to keep the power stable. Alright, let's see if we can do it again. Get this thing to soft land. Probably not. We'll probably lose the whole craft, but. Oh, good. It's even going to be sloped. Maybe I could catch my shadow. See, the sun's coming that way, so my shadow's going to be over here. Soft landings! I knew I could do it. Tink, recover vessel. See, that's how we do soft landings. Well, who needs parachutes? Who needs parachutes? Oh, it's way better than slowly suffocating. Oh yeah, I mean that's literally what it was. And that's one of the big debates, right? Is having it international waters, avoiding a lot of the recover a vessel returned from Kerbal orbit. Hey, I got 10 science from that. Yay! I guess I haven't recovered a vessel from the Saturn. Yeah, yeah, good for me. That was one of the big debates. Is how do we regulate this in the future because it's international waters. What can we really do in a situation like that? And I think they're going to probably come up with some world standards for that. It's like the FAA. All these other countries have their different standards for aircraft, but the majority of it, if it's not by the FAA, planes aren't going to fly. Who are the big manufacturers that build planes? Boeing, Airbus, um, what? Embraer, from the UK, and who's the? I mean, I know Russia has their planes too, but a lot of them aren't allowed to fly into the United States. Um, who's the other big one that they use? But there's a lot of things. They all. Well, yeah, it's not, but uh, all of their guidelines for their aircraft are all based off of FAA regulations, even though they're not an American. Yeah, I mean, Boeing's pretty much the only American aircraft manufacturer left here in the States, because Lockheed doesn't build planes, well, commercial planes anymore, and McDonnell Douglas and Douglas Aircraft, they went by the waysides back in the late 90s. So, I mean, it's. All right. I think I'm going to do one more thing. We're not going to do another launch, but I think what we're going to do is we're going to try and build a communications array that will suit our needs for our new uh, space station. In fact, we could probably get some science off our space station because I think it's been a while. Yeah, a Boeing bottom, right? I guess really. It's a micro node though. Yeah, we won't talk about that. I mean, that was Boeing knew better. Everyone knows Boeing knew better. But, they changed programming in their aircraft to make it more efficient and they cut corners and that's what happens when you cut corners. It's I mean, we just had a sub that was cutting corners. Look what happened to them and Boeing got caught up in that little deal themselves, by cutting corners. I mean, they lost what, two aircraft due to their tomfoolery. Don't I have a plate that's octagonal? I do, right here, octagonal strut. Maybe I'll go with that instead. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I mean, technically it is. It's still their narrow body, two row. It's nothing wrong with the 37. It's one of their most purchased aircraft. I mean, between the 737 and the 767, it's that's pretty much all they fly national anymore, and just about any other local airports around the world is that's all they really fly. Alright, so we've got that. We could put, I think we got a bigger I-beam, don't we? Which one's taller? We'll go with that one. Yeah, that's a little taller. Kind of looks weird just floating there, doesn't it? I guess we could have. Whoa, hey, why is that so big? We probably could have done that instead. Alright, let's see what power we can stack onto this thing. Yeah, those should be able to rotate out, huh? Oh, that's right, because that's the core part, huh? Because these are 1,000 a piece, right? Yeah. We make these larger. Let's see if that squeezes down inside there. Bring it down a little bit more to about right there. come with this structure here. Oh, that's payload structure. That doesn't look too shabby, actually. I like it. I like it a lot. Oh, we want to go heaviest. Can we change the color of this? Yeah. It's either black and white or orange. Okay. Now, what was I planning on doing here? I can't remember. I had a plan for this. I put a launch escape tower on it. That'll learn you. There's a reason I put this on here, and I can't remember what it is now. I think I know what it was. We want to go payload. We want to put this airstream on here. Yeah, I think that's what it was. I think we wanted to go here. That should work. That looks better. Yeah, because I think what I wanted to do was come in here and go build fairing. And attach it to this. Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. I mean, technically, I don't even need this launch escape tower. Yeah, we could smack that big bad boy on there. Oh. No, we don't want to choose a flag. Yeah, that just like quadrupled our weight, didn't it? This thing can transmit science? Wow. Let's tweak scale that thing down just a bit. That's 250 gig combinable. You know, I think we're gonna pop you off. We're gonna put you on. We're gonna delete you. I'm rethinking this whole thing now. If these extend out. I like it. I like our little communication array. Yeah, exactly. You know what? I said we weren't going to launch a rocket, but I'm curious about how this thing's going to come together now. Because if I put 2 of these on each end, well, 4 of these, if I put 2 on that and 1 on the other end, they'll have a lot of solar power. Big power com. This would all count as a sub-assembly, wouldn't it? Yes, yes it would, because... Maybe not. I wonder if Pusher would be able to move that. $2.797 tons. Yes, I think it would be able to push it. Alright, we're not going to worry about that today. I think we're good. I think we're going to go ahead and end the stream here because people are starting to talk about shooting guns. So, that's... Yes, launch this anyway. This vessel has no remote control or... Alright, well here, let's slap this on here. Alright, let's launch this. Let's see what this thing does. Deployed jettison shroud. Deployed dish. Oh, jeez. I think that might block the solar panel. panel sells just a bit. Okay. Deploy. Extend. Extend. Got a lot of power. You see this thing at the end of each one of our science stations? I mean, that's... The sun is coming up. I know it's the sky that's moving, but it really feels like we're pitching down here, and it's kind of discombobulating me a little bit. Yep, it's blocked by the satellite. So that is not going to work. Well, I mean, it will if I retract said satellite. Can I retract this? The dish is meant to operate in low orbit. Alright. Yeah, it blocks it, so that's not going to work for this. It's kind of what I figured. I was pretty certain it was going to block it. Well, bang goes that theory. Yeah, it's like almost midnight. But I've got to toss this away because it doesn't work. It's too massive. Which means these would be the same thing because those are just as big. Because when you deploy dish... I don't know. That might... Well, no, because if we have to... No, that's still... What do we have communication-wise? This is a 15 gigger. Yeah, it still works. Delete fairing, build it. Trying to make it so this fairing doesn't look stupid. Alright, I like that. Alright, guys, I think we're going to call it quits. We've done all we can. We're going to call it a night. I may do some streaming tomorrow. Don't know. Depends on how busy I am, what happens. But we'll see. Stay tuned. Hope everybody enjoyed the stream. Hope we learned a lot. If you didn't, well, sorry, I'm a terrible teacher. Uh, if you had fun, tell your friends. Have them come watch. If you didn't have fun, tell your friends. Have them come watch. And I will catch all of you later. Let's grab some of this grindy science real quick. Really, that's all the science we have so far. Alright, well, we're going to transmit it regardless, because we're a little nuts here. Alright, guys. We'll have to refill our science next time. Have a good night.